Hey, what's up? It's been a minute since I posted to my channel here on YouTube, but something big has happened at Google that we need to talk about. And what is it? It's the debt of YouTube conversion campaigns. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know YouTube ads has been my thing for probably the last 5 years or so. And quietly over the last 3 or 4 months, what's happening is Google has transitioned YouTube conversion, or what they call YouTube action campaigns, from YouTube action campaigns over to demand gen. Now, what's demand gen? Well, you might know this as Google Discovery, which was an image-based placement for 2 or 3 years. And then within the last 6 to 12 months, they've added in the capability of YouTube video ads and image ads in this particular type of campaigns. And now they pushed conversion campaigns from the YouTube campaign type over to demand gen permanently. As of the beginning of April, you can no longer create new YouTube action campaigns. You're pushed into this demand gen category. And coming up in the next month or so, your old YouTube action campaigns that are working will get upgraded, as they say, to a demand gen campaign. The old campaign will get shut off. So why is this important? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. We're going to talk about why did Google do this? We're going to look at what you need to watch out for and why you don't just want to clone your YouTube campaign and make it a demand gen campaign. Talk about a few best practices and what we can expect from demand gen moving forward in 2025, or what that means for our businesses. So let's get right into it. So why did Google do this? That's the first question, right? Well, my assumption is that Google has done this to make it easier for the average advertiser. Google wants to manage more of their advertisers' money directly. They want them to, talk to those Google reps that call us all the time. And they want to just manage the clients directly, allow them to press go inside a campaign that's simple to set up and simple to run. Demand gen is that, and PMax is that. You can just upload some images, put in a few lines of copy, upload a couple videos, and you're off to the races. Their machine learning and AI does everything else. It'll even create shorter videos from the videos you upload, create square or portrait videos from a landscape video put up there. Same thing with images, it'll crop them. It'll make all these changes automatically, which makes it super user-friendly for an advertiser to get going. Doesn't mean it's easy to get results on, but it makes it really easy for them to get started. And that makes it super easy to manage over a phone call if you just call up a business and say, hey, want to get advertising, right? And if you're an agency or had experience in the agency world, people jump agencies like a lot because people promise the moon and they kind of don't get it, right? So they're making this change to simplify for most advertisers because it is an AI-driven type of campaign. Okay, that's the first thing. Why are they doing this? What does this mean for you, though? What do you need to watch out for between a YouTube action campaign and a demand gen campaign? Well, there's a few changes that happen. The basis of a YouTube campaign was an in-stream, which are the pre-roll skip ads, the in-feed, which is an image-based placement on the youtube.com website in the suggested videos or the sidebar, or that there's an image-based ad that shows up on the mobile app on the YouTube desktop platform as well. So that's another place. And then the shorts feed. Those are the three primary places where YouTube showed our ads in a YouTube action campaign. When we hop over to demand gen by default, we also get Gmail. We also get the Discover placement, which is like the Google app and Discover placement on Android phones. And we get now Google Display Network. So left unchecked, if you just clone a YouTube campaign and make it a demand gen campaign, there are a ton of things that are going to be missed for you that you need to pay attention to. Let's talk about that now. So first off, what you'd probably see if you just clone a YouTube campaign and make it a demand gen campaign is you're probably going to see lower CPMs, lower cost per 1,000 impressions, lower CTR and lower CPCs, right? So it looks like things are better, right? In terms of cost, that lower CTR is not great, but you're also probably going to see a higher cost per acquisition, higher sale, higher lead cost, whatever it is you're trying to acquire. And that's because there are a ton of places that ads can kind of wander out into the demand gen world that do not produce the results that a focused YouTube action campaign did. So what do you need to be prepared for in 2025 and moving forward to make sure that your demand gen campaigns perform similarly or better than your YouTube action campaigns? One, right now there's a drop-down feature. It's beta inside at the ad group setup level. You can select what placements you want. So you can get YouTube in-stream, in-feed, shorts, Google Display, Gmail, Discovery. I believe those are the places. I would start off selecting just YouTube, in-stream, in-feed, and shorts. Those are the three places you kind of head over in your YouTube campaign. The second thing is you want to make sure demand gen works kind of like PMax. Each ad is what's called an asset set. It's not just a single video in an ad. You could put just one video in there, but what they really want is a square, a portrait, and a landscape version of the video. So the second thing you need to do is make sure you have that. You want to have a vertical version likely a square version and a landscape version of your ad. And do this. Take your landscape version, upload it 2 or 3 times, and create unique thumbnails for it. I'll explain that in a minute why. So you've got this little basket of videos, let's say 5 video URLs from YouTube you've uploaded. And when you create an ad, what you're going to do is you're going to put in the portrait version, the square version, the landscape version, all in one ad with your URL and your copy and all that stuff that you're used to doing in YouTube, and press go. Now there's a little toggle switch that you can press when you're setting up your ads inside the demand gen asset area. And it's going to say where you want each video to show. I'm going to recommend that you show your vertical video in shorts and maybe in stream. That's up to you. Don't show it in feed. The reason you don't want to show it in feed is because right now you can't really upload a custom thumbnail for a vertical video. And that custom thumbnail is what's going to be shown on the in-feed placement, whether it be on the youtube.com site or the YouTube app, but it shows up as a static image-based ad. And what that actually means is that it's the thumbnail that gets to click first to watch the video. So if you get a crappy thumbnail or no thumbnail at all, the chances of you getting a click when you're competing with all the other organic YouTube videos in someone's feed, pretty damn minimal. So that's why you want to avoid putting a short or portrait vertical video or a square video in the in-feed segment. You want to make sure your landscape video is the one that goes in feed. Then you can play around with maybe putting your portrait and landscape for the in-stream portion, the skippable ad. I play back and forth with this. It depends on your market. You'll find that some are better than others, right? In terms, like we have one market that targets older folks, right? And we find that the landscape video, the rectangular video works best in stream and in feed. And we only put the portrait or the square video when people are looking at shorts. They're just not used to looking at this vertical video in the player. A younger audience may be different, okay? So your setting up of that's going to be, those are the key features. You want to, at the ad group level, turn those things on and off that I just mentioned, right? Make sure you want to show in feed, in stream, and shorts. And then when you're setting up your ad, the assets for your ad, you want to check where to show your ads. And then you want to say, put the portrait version in the shorts placement and maybe the in stream. You can test that. Same with a square version, and put the landscape version in the in stream and the in feed placement. And again, make sure you upload that landscape video a couple times with different thumbnails so that you can ensure you're testing some different variations of that thumbnail to get the click. It's kind of like testing image ads in Discovery or on Meta or wherever that might be, okay? So that's the basic setup things you need to do. Everything else inside demand gen is somewhat the same in terms of budget, TCPA, geographical locations, all that same stuff. I do like the change in the layout of setting up a campaign. It, in my opinion, has improved how it looks, and I think that it's a cleaner, more streamlined way of setting up a campaign and editing a campaign you want to change it. I do appreciate that. So thank you, Google. The final thing I want to talk about are what are some positives that are coming about from demand gen that we didn't have in YouTube campaigns. Now, the one big one that isn't talked about much yet, but Google has introduced what's called lookalike audiences. So similar to what we've had on Meta or TikTok is where we can take a seed audience of people who have been to our website, viewed our videos, interacted with us in different ways, and tell the ad network to say, hey, build a lookalike of this to a certain degree of similarity. So in demand gen, what we're able to do is take a seed audience. This could be a video view audience, could be uploaded data of customers or sales, could be people who have engaged with our website or viewed our videos over a certain duration of time, maybe video views over the last 30 days. And we say, build a lookalike audience to this list of people, and we'll make it, you've got 1, 3, or 5%. Is basically the similarity level you can look at. 1% being a tighter list of people, where 5% gives you a bigger list of people. Pretty much works the same way that Meta does this, whereby you select the country you want the lookalike built in, and then you select what percentage of lookalike you want, and you're up to the races. I have had mixed results myself on this, and it really depends on the source list. An uploaded list of sales or leads, if it's really big, seems to work pretty well. A couple thousand people, not so much, because you're not going to get 100% match rate. Match rate meaning when you upload your 2,000 people, Google's not going to find all 2,000 people and say, oh, here they are. Let's just build a lookalike on this. So you need to start with a big seed list to make sure that you get a big match portion, which is important. But it's very worthwhile trying different lookalikes in a demand gen campaign. And then, of course, like YouTube had already moved to, they are encouraging you to target different audiences all in one ad group. A couple of warnings I'm going to give you about demand gen from the testing I've done, because I moved over to this about 3 or 4 months ago because I wanted to get ahead of the curve here, because I knew it was coming and I didn't want to be struck off guard where all my campaigns into crap the second we had to switch over to demand gen. So the first thing I'm going to recommend you do is clone your exact YouTube campaign as close as possible. And I don't just mean the videos, I mean the targeting as well. So if over in YouTube, you were targeting, say, 35 to 64-year-old people across America, and you are using an affinity stock audience like avid news readers or frequently eats out, pardon me, my timer going off there, frequently eats out, or maybe you're targeting an in-market audience like shopping for a new roof or a new car or car loans, mortgage, whatever. Take that same audience targeting and move that over to demand gen. Keep that the same. If you change it, then you're making too many variables. When you're testing something, you need to keep variables at a minimum, one ideally. So we already have one variable. We're testing demand gen versus YouTube. So to make sure we keep these things as black and white as possible, we want to target the same age demographic and gender and all that information and devices, right? Don't add in new devices yet. And two, we want to target the same audiences. I would recommend not running optimized targeting out of the gate. Wait to add that in later. We don't want to give ourselves any question marks that could make us say, geez, why didn't that work? Because then we could waste a bunch of money and not have the answers we need, okay? So those are the big takeaways I've got. Now, if you want to see this done live, there's two things I've got for you. One, you can grab, I used to have my YouTube ads primer course on my website at ianhendon.com. Now you can grab a demand gen primer course, which is in the works right now. It's April 9th. That's going to be live, hopefully on April 10th, I believe. So if you just comment demand below or click the link in the description, you can grab that. And then coming up, we're going to have a demand gen course coming, which will kind of be best practices and all the stuff that we're doing to keep our things rolling, right? Nothing right now, but if you want that demand gen primer course, comment demand below. Click the link in the description, grab that. You'll be notified when the full-blown thing comes out. But for now, your best course of action is to start getting some demand gen campaigns tested, especially if you have some successful YouTube campaigns running, because you can't create any more new YouTube campaigns. So keep that in mind. If you've got a campaign working, leave it on, but then go try and clone it in demand gen and see if you can get that working. And other than that, just buckle up, because I don't know what else is coming for features for 2025, but this shift from YouTube ads to demand gen, it's a big one. But we got to embrace it because, you know, there's no question that there's less competition over on Google between YouTube and display and demand gen and discovery and all these places than there is on Meta or TikTok. So if you get good at this platform, it's sort of your unique offering to businesses, no matter what you do, whether you're an affiliate, whether you're an agency, whether you're a freelancer or whatever it is. And if you're a local business or a business that's running media in-house, it's your way of showing up differently to your prospects, where everybody's running over on Meta. It's easy. It's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, but the quality generally isn't as high. So thanks for watching this all the way through. You know, initially I was very concerned with seeing YouTube ads going away, or at least YouTube conversion action ads going away. But now that I'm into the demand gen stuff, I'm feeling pretty excited about it because I'm discovering new ways that we can scale this and new ways we can test this. And I think it's going to be a positive thing. We just need to dig in and do the work to figure out what these differences are and the nuances that we need to run over there. So again, comment demand or click the link in the description below to grab my demand gen primer course, and I'll see you in the next video. I plan on posting more stuff in 2025 than I ever have before. So if you're not already subscribed, click the subscribe button down below so you'll get notified with each new video I put out. Thanks. Bye for now.